How's the audio level over my or under my talking? Is it too loud, too soft? Just right?
Say something again, Sean.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. A little loud. We'll take it down just a hair. As I find it, there we go. All right. Today we're going to do 4 sessions, 4 rounds, I should say. 1 session, 4 rounds of EFT with different statements for the different tapping points. We'll get started in just a moment. So as you prepare, get ready to wire discipline and unwire procrastination from your nervous system. Okay. So as we get started this morning, I want to review a couple of things real quick with you on this idea, this concept of discipline we've been focusing on for the past few days. I want you to become aware of the power of discipline. This isn't something you can read about and do, or there's really nothing like equivalent to planting a garden and watching things grow. Discipline is really something that just really takes some time. It takes focus. It can happen in an instant. So let me explain today, in this session, explaining the 4 EFT rounds. And each one is a themed statement breakdown. Let me share with you how this will work. We're going to begin an EFT session. And we're going to guide, this is about guiding the body and the subconscious mind through 4 distinct energetic phrases, series of phrases, 4 phases of transformation. Each round, this is important, each round targets a different level of identity, aligning thought, aligning feeling, and physiology. So the first round, and we're going to go not quickly, but we're going to go through each one fairly rapid because they have a certain theme to them. And the first one is emotional clearing, the truth behind your hesitation. So the theme is to release the resistance. We're going to begin by acknowledging the emotional charge, the frustration, the guilt, the fear, or the shame around discipline. This is where many people suppress or bypass the actuality of becoming more disciplined by honoring the real, the raw feelings that sabotage follow through, right? Because we're not lacking discipline to set goals. We shame ourselves into sabotaging our follow through. We deactivate the limbic fight or flight response that keeps the nervous system in the freeze or avoidance area. So the psychological function of phase 1, round 1, is to activate some emotional honesty with yourself. We want to begin to drain our emotional swamp that we wind up getting stuck in. And we want to send signals of safety to the amygdala, right? The amygdala is that little almond that, boy, we trigger that, we lose 25% of our cognitive ability, we do all of these things, and we just say, screw it, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a good day. Here's a sample statement that we use to shut ourselves down. I always say I'll start tomorrow, or I sabotage my own progress. Why am I so quick to find fault with myself? These are simple sayings of this emotional side of what keeps us from our discipline. Then round 2 is going to be the correction and the reframing. We're going to create some safety in our new story. We're going to redefine what discipline means, and then we're going to just use statements and tap in all of the different areas. So we begin to soften our inner critic. You know, the one that looks in a picture and finds us first and goes, I look like trash. That inner critic, you know the one? We're going to shift the story. In round 2, we're going to introduce possibility, not forcing it, by inviting it. By inviting discipline. Have you ever invited discipline into your life before? This round creates the bridge from the old identity to the emerging self. Here's the psychological functions. It opens the prefrontal cortex, right? Our executive thinking for some new meaning. It links past pain to present power. Things that we've done in the past that took some discipline, that took some effort, that kind of hurt a little bit. And yet on the other side of it, where we are now, we can realize our present power. And here's a big one. It rewires shame into self-trust. Ugh. Somebody give me a bottle of that. We're going to, in round 2, correction and reframe. We're going to help rewire the shame of lack of discipline into self-trusting ourselves to have more discipline. Maybe discipline isn't punishment, it's power. That's a sample statement. Here's another one. What if I'm allowed to be consistent now? A little bit of novelty there. Ever ask yourself that question? What if I'm allowed to be consistent now? Then round 3, explaining it takes longer than the tapping. I want you to know, I want you to comprehend why we're going through the same tapping 4 different times, saying things. Here's the psychology behind it. Here's the nest, the neuroenergetic self-sculpting process. Round 3 is vision statements. We're going to step into our next vision. We're going to embody a new identity. This round begins and brings the future self-imagery and anchors it in the body. It's designed to help us shift from fear-based motivation to identity-based decision making. Let me say that again. Round 3, and the language, we're going to be tapping in the same areas. Round 3 is going to help us shift from fear-based motivation. If I don't do this, if I struggle, if I can't, I got to get this done. This is going to be so painful, but I got to do it because right, that's fear-based motivation. What if it shifts us to identity-based, who we are becoming, decision-making? This is where we begin to see ourselves through new eyes. Here's the psychological part of it. It activates the RAS, the reticular activating system, to seek evidence of change. We've got all that. But because what we repeat, brain cells that fire together or wire together, we have more negative evidence than we do of the disciplined evidence. So this will help activate the RAS to seek evidence of this transformation. Powerful stuff, isn't it? We're going to build neural connections and neural congruence between intention and identity. Think about that for just a moment. Neural congruence between intention and identity. See, many people, they'll set intentions in the morning, not giving themselves permission to also become a new identity who follows through on those intentions. We're going to introduce embodied willpower instead of discipline as force. Embodied willpower. This idea to set an idea and go after it instead of discipline as I got to force myself to do this. I got to force myself to drink water. I got to force myself to eat healthy. Probably not going to last too long with that mindset. But if we embody it, if we embody our willpower to understand we can make better decisions, here's some simple statements and some sample statements. I see myself acting from a place of strength and clarity. Discipline becomes my sacred theme. Oof, that feels good, doesn't it? And then brain talk activation. Declare, anchor, and activate. This is where we wire the new identity into action. This round it's the emotional ignition point, a space for charged, declarative affirmations. It moves beyond healing into performance. These are phrases that lock in the new self-perception, this identity, integrating brain, breath, and body. So what's the psychological part? It engages both hemispheres with the brain, with short rhythmic phrasing. So we go left hemisphere, right hemisphere. This is while you're listening, while you're repeating the affirmation. It strengthens our brain circuits. And what it does is it creates a certain amount of energy in the part of the brain that is involved in habits and action. This creates strong, energetic charge to help us build momentum. Here's some sample statements. I decide, I do, I deliver. This is who I am now. This vision is louder than my doubt. Ooh, those sound good, don't they? So remember this, remember. Each round serves as a purpose. We're not fixing, You already know this stuff. We are facing some old wiring. We're not forcing, we're flowing into alignment. This is more than tapping, it's a transformation ritual. So, if you're ready, type an R in the chat. It tells me I'm ready. So let's get started. I want you to just, we don't need to go into the sanctuary. You can. I'll let you decide if you want to do that. I want you to know that you can do this. I want your body to have the physiology to know that you can decide, hey, listen, I'm ready to get started now. Okay? I'm ready to get started now. So what we're going to do is I want you to just, matter of fact, stretch your body before we get started, because even the introduction was a lot. Just go ahead and stretch your body, roll your shoulders, roll your head to the left a couple of times, and then to the right a couple of times. Take a big breath, clear your vagus nerve. Because your body, some of your body might be in a little resistance based upon what it just heard. So, what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the karate chop. And I just want you to be aware. So, just karate chopping. And for those of you that maybe don't know EFT, Energy Freedom Technique, karate chop is that fat part of the hand. If you make a fist, kind of where you do that, you put it on a window and it makes it look like a foot, and you just put the toes on. Some of you may or may not know what that is. So the karate chop is just this place where we start to set the statement, set the stage. So just tapping 2 fingers right there. And just say this. I'm aware I have space for discipline. I choose to bring discipline as a tool, not a punishment, into my life. I am ready for this transformation. And stop, kind of shake your hands out, feel the energies beginning to flow. So as we get started, we're going to start with the eyebrow. And this is about the emotional clearing. So the eyebrow is in the center there, kind of where your nose and your eyebrow meet, that bridge line right there. And if you just start tapping, and here's the statement. So we're going to go eyebrow, side eye, under eye. I'll guide you through. So eyebrow, start tapping. I always say I'll start tomorrow. I always say I'll start tomorrow. Side of the eye. I know what to do, yet I don't follow through. I know what to do, yet I don't follow through. We're activating these, saying that we understand what these are and how they make us feel. Under the eye, right there in the middle, under the eye, I sabotage my own progress. I sabotage my own progress. Under the nose, slightly tapping, I'm tired of failing again. Just let your body feel this. Feel the energy flowing. I'm tired of failing again. Go to your chin, underneath your lower lip, and on top above your chin, in between there, that little crook, that little nook. Part of me doesn't believe I can change. Part of me doesn't believe I can change. This is the emotional clearing session. Collarbone, right there where your sternum meets your collarbone. Discipline feels like pressure. Feel it. Allow this to be flowing through you. Discipline feels like pressure. Under the arm, kind of midway down on your side, on your rib cage. I fear losing my freedom. I fear losing my freedom. And then now top of the head, kind of from your hairline, between the very highest point of your head, somewhere in between that point and your hairline, start tapping. What if I never stick with it? What if I never stick with it? You go ahead and stop tapping. Shake your hands out. Pause. Breathe. And acknowledge what came up. What did you feel? What came up? This is just activating your meridians, a possible current starting point. This is your release round. You're clearing energetic resistance. One of the best ways for an addict to get better is to admit some of their addiction. This is the energetic resistance tied to past failures or limiting beliefs. Okay, so let's get ready for round 2. This is the correction and the reframing statements. So again, you can switch hands. We're just going with the eyebrow. So then right there at the bridge of the nose, eyebrow. What if discipline is power, not punishment? Oh, feel that. Keep tapping. What if discipline is power, not punishment? Side of the eye, kind of right there on the outside edge of the eye, lightly tapping. Doesn't have to be hard. We're activating the meridians. Maybe I can choose actions that build trust. Ooh, that feels good. Maybe I can choose actions that build trust. Under the eye, right there, kind of under your pupil, right there at the bone. Under your eye, discipline could feel like devotion, not control. Ooh, that feels good. Discipline could feel like devotion, not control. Under the nose, so above your lip and under your nose, what if it's safe for me to be consistent? What if it's really safe for me to be consistent? Ooh, I like that. Move down to your chin, between your lower lip and your top of your chin. I release shame of my past attempts. Oof. Feel that energy clearing. I release the shame of my past attempts. Yeah, baby. Collarbone. I can redefine success on my terms. Oh, feel that, tapping that right into your spirit. I can redefine success on my terms. Under the arm, so you kind of reach around, and if you need to switch hands because one's getting tired, you can. So underarm, which is there right there on the side of the rib cage, each step forward wires new confidence. Each step forward wires new confidence. Top of the head, I am safe being the disciplined version of me. Ooh. I am safe being the disciplined version of me. Okay, shake your hands out, relax them for just a moment. This was the cognitive shift round where we introduce possibility. It's the bridge from old identity to the, listen carefully, to the invitation of the new way of being. This was the invitation to the new way of being. All right, here we go. Round 3. These are the vision statements. We're going to continue tapping at all of the same points, layering some imagery and some self-identity anchoring. So you ready? Here we go. Eyebrow. And if one side's get a little sore, switch to the other side of the nose. So eyebrow. I see myself following through with strength. Oh, yeah. Say it. I see myself following through with strength. Side of the eye. Each day I honor my mission with action. Each day I honor my mission with action. Under the eye, discipline becomes my sacred rhythm. Smile as you're saying these to yourself. Discipline under the eye. Discipline becomes my sacred rhythm. Under the nose, I am proud of my ability to choose. Oh, yes. I am proud of my ability to choose. Chin. My life reflects my devotion to growth. Oh, yeah. My life reflects my devotion to growth. Collarbone. I choose clarity over chaos. I choose clarity over chaos. Under the arm, I build trust with every promise I keep. I build trust with every promise I keep. Top of the head, I see myself as a focused, powerful creator. I see myself as a focused, powerful creator. Okay, stop tapping, shake your hands out, relax, rest them on your lap. This is guiding you to embody visualization here, where the system begins to believe what it sees. All right, here's some high energy close. Round 4, some high energy closes, tapping with intensity and a little certainty. Short incantation style statements for each point. So maybe just not hard, but kind of feeling the power, so you can still tap soft with an absolute knowing. You ready? Here we go. Eyebrow. I decide. I do. I deliver. I want you to say it kind of in that tone, kind of as a matter of fact. I decide. I do. I deliver. Side of the eye. I don't need motivation. I am disciplined. Oh, yes. I do not need motivation. I am disciplined. That feels good. Under the eye. This is who I am now. This is who I am now. Under the nose. Every breath anchors my consistency. Say it like that. Say it with confidence and determination. Every breath anchors my consistency. Let's go to the chin. I show up, I follow through. I show up, I follow through. Say it again. I show up, I follow through. Collarbone. My vision is louder than my doubt. Oh, yeah, baby. My vision is louder than my doubt. under the arm. I am built for this. I am built for this. I am built for this. Top of the head. I am the architect of my new identity. I am the architect of my new identity. Okay, shake your hands out, relax. That was big. I want you to let me help you with some closing statements. So just relax for just a second. Feel that, breathe. Realize what you just did, what you've just activated, what you've just set yourself up for. So, as we wrap up, I want you to do something for me. I want you to put one hand on your crown chakra, top of your head, and the other one on your heart. And I want you to breathe a little deeper than you've done before. Exhale a little more than you have in just a little bit. And I want you to really center yourself. Feel the energy flowing from your crown to your heart, out from your heart into the universe around you. And I want you to say this out loud. I honor my journey into discipline. I am not forcing myself. I am finding myself. We're going to repeat this. Every action I take rewires my power. I trust my rhythm. I choose to show up now. Let's say it again. Hand on your crown, hand on your heart. You can rotate them, you can switch them. I honor my journey into discipline. I am not forcing myself. I am finding myself. Every action I take rewires my power. I trust my rhythm, and I choose to show up now. Man, how does that feel? That feel good? So what just happened? I want you to realize that you have made a huge transformation. Let this settle into your chest. Feel this in your belly. Feel it into your spine. You just did some pretty powerful work. You just didn't tap on your body. You tapped into, listen carefully, you've tapped into your truth. You rewired that old belief that said discipline is hard. It's not who I am. And you replaced it with something bigger, something deeper. Discipline is not what I force. Listen carefully. It's what I remember. Discipline is not what I force. It's what I remember. It's the rhythm of someone who's no longer negotiating with their vision. Imagine if that was what we could help people grasp. Because they get to work with you, because they get to hang around you, because they get to sit with you, be guided by you. It's a rhythm of someone who's no longer negotiating their vision. Oh, you made a statement to your nervous system. You want to know what that statement was? I can trust myself now. Oh, who just got the chills? If you got the chills, type chills or type a C in the chat. I can trust myself now. Doesn't that feel good? In just a few rounds of tapping, we quieted the fear-based noise. We accessed our prefrontal cortex. That part that plans, that part of our brain that chooses and follows through, our prefrontal cortex. See, the reason we struggled with follow through is because we used to get fearful and we would literally shut down our prefrontal cortex. We cleared away old emotional clutter from our amygdala. And the reason the yawning is because your brain is resetting. It is creating new neural pathways at such a rapid pace. Your brain needs more oxygen. This isn't your body tired. We sometimes slough it off. It's literally your brain saying, this, I need a reset. So we've cleared some old emotional clutter from our amygdala. So now it doesn't have to shout. Listen carefully. Listen to this. Imagine your amygdala, a little person inside of you. Imagine it doesn't have to shout every time you try something new. What are you doing that for? What are you doing that for? Why are you doing that? What's going to happen there? You're not good at that. Your amygdala no longer, because your body trusts you. I can trust myself. You opened up your energy system to give your subconscious some new instructions. And most importantly, you shifted your identity, because discipline isn't about doing more. It's about becoming someone new, someone whose actions match their vision. Boy, wouldn't that feel comfortable? And now you say, I can trust myself now. Say it. I can trust myself now. You're someone whose actions match your vision. So as we return back to this moment in time, you'll notice something subtle. A pause before an old habit. A breath before you avoid something. How about letting this voice play over and over and over? And here's what it might say. Let's show up. Let's finish. Let's lead. Hear that in your head. Don't you say it. Let it say it. Let that part of you, let that archetype of you who just showed up, maybe it's all of your archetypes. They're saying, let's show up. Let's finish. Let's lead. That voice is you. That voice is now. And now you move. I can trust myself. Let's show up. Write it down. Let's finish. Let's lead. Ah, doesn't that feel good? Man, this is good stuff. You are amazing. So go ahead, drink some water. Get some energy in you. We'll get started in just a moment. Good morning, my fellow travelers. Let's show up. Let's finish. Let's lead.
Wide awake while the world is sound asleep, and too afraid of what might show up while you're dreaming. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. And every day you try to pick up all the pieces, all the memories, they somehow never leave you. Nobody sees you. Nobody will believe you. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows. You keep it
All right, morning misfits. Let's show up. Let's finish. Let's lead. Takeaways. What'd you learn? What'd you like? What'd you feel? These are getting good, aren't they? Good morning. Oh, hey, YouTube. I love you tons. Can't wait to see you soon. Check us out at unlearnme.live, unlearnme.live, or go get, I don't know, this 40, 50 hours of training inside of my school network. Sean's school, Like Sean's cool. Sean SKOOL .com, and you'll get access to a whole bunch of trainings there. Love you tons. I'll see y'all where on YouTube. I'm gonna go have a private conversation with my VIP community. I'll see y'all where at the next event. All right. Hey, Misfits. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Diane.
How are you today?
Outstanding, disciplined.
That's wonderful. This is wonderful. My body's still vibrating.
Good.
And the yawning started like during the third one. And feel it, yes. So it's I had a really good sleep last night, so
Good.
my body really was open to this. So thank you.
Good, good, good. That excites me. I love hearing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, take with yous. I know Heather's been on this discipline journey. I don't know if she's available. She might be doing stuff, prepping for her day. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways.
I'm here.
Oh, hey there. Hi
I'm
there.
here.
Hello there.
Yeah. Wow. Yawning, tears, the whole 9 yards. It feels like layers are just peeling off.
Cool. And what happens if those layers peel off?
Then it's layers of old story. It's layers of other people's crap. So when those layers come off, it's me.
So undevelopment.
Definitely.
We chippy away everything not Heather.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd that we don't have to do more. We just need to remember better.
Yes,
That's kind of odd, isn't it?
it is. And I cannot tell you how irritated I was when you said we were tapping this morning. Just, really?
So what was that? Let's giggle about that. What was that? What part of you do you know that tapping works?
Here's what, when I was arguing with myself about, yeah, I'll listen, but I'm not going to do it.
No, not Heather.
Because
Let be clear.
fully transparent, I've tried tapping in the past, years ago, like 20 years ago.
Oh yeah, so I tried to get healthy. Somebody ran a test tube over me 20 years ago. It didn't work, so I don't think that shit ever works.
And well, here's what it is.
This is a trained professional, ladies and gentlemen. You hear the story that's coming.
Yeah. I know that it works. I've seen the evidence of it working in other people.
Right.
But it's just like regular disciplined exercise, regular disciplined using the tools that I have for other people and seeing results. If I use it for me, my life is going to change. I'm going to change. And if I change, I'm going to garner more people are going to be paying attention to me. And that has made me uncomfortable. But I was channeling Joe Dispenza in the don't let your body be the mind. You control your body. Don't let your body control you. I sat in this little rocking chair and I did all of the tapping. And I have never felt tapping the way that I felt it today, because I fully engaged, I fully embraced. When the irritation came up, I told it needed to go sit in the corner.
So who was irritated? The one who sat in the chair is not the irritated one. I know I sound
No.
like I should go get a turban and a whatever, a shawl or something, and right, have my shoulder out so I look like a guru. Because these it just sounds like it, right? Not like, hey, so the one who sat in the chair isn't the one who wanted to do the tapping. Who was the one who got annoyed?
That is an unidentified. It's not Terry.
Right.
It's
So
it's an
think about how many
unidentified.
people who are not in your corner who showed up. Simply what tapping. And they were all ready. How did where were they that they could be so resistant so fast? That they could be so emotionally charged in your body. Weren't they always ready at the surface, and they were a filter through which you saw everything? The tears were your body awakening, not or maybe them crying that they just got found out. How fast was the response? You said, as soon as I heard you say tapping, I was like, They had to be right there. You didn't have to call them and get them into an Uber to get over to your energy.
Oh no. No, they were there
So
in the
ask, who do
instant.
they have that's still sitting in the residual? Who's still sitting there that wasn't as toxic and as emotional? Because birds of a feather flock together. Ask them, say, listen, I just found out you guys were here. Who else is here? Who are your replacements in case you got sick?
It's people who are not me. It's energies that are not me.
Okay. If they're not you, how did they get permission to be you? Because if you go, oh, it doesn't that come out of you? Says I'm pressing riggedy, riggedy, riggedy. Why can't I just say, here's what I learned, here's what I like, and go? So
Because if this stuff isn't uncovered, then it's going to resurface.
well, because what happens is somebody who's coaching you will go, oh, well, we found that out. We didn't find out nothing yet. Yes, you became aware. Yes, tears and energies, and you committed, and you told that energy to go sit in the corner. Which version of you told him to go sit in the corner? Why did you all of a sudden have power where you haven't had it years ago? In years, why haven't you had it?
I made the decision.
So who made the decision?
My sovereign.
So did your sovereign make it for the sovereign, or did the sovereign make it for you?
I think she made it for everyone.
Okay, so she made it for everyone. What if you were the sovereign? Change the way we look at things.
Well,
things
sure.
Change.
Yeah.
So now the sovereign is you, which is why the decision was made for everybody, because the sovereign can only make it for the sovereign, understanding the kingdom, but you can't make everybody want to do it. You, because they are all you, decided to make the decision.
Right.
Now we're cooking. So now, who can you trust when you say, I
Me.
trust myself?
Me.
So if let's lead, who's the ones leading?
Me.
And what happens when you realize people are following?
It holds me to a different standard.
What's your responsibility?
Responsibility is to me and for me and to them, but not for them.
So the only reason they're following is because you're taking care of you for them.
Sure.
That's the part we miss. We hear it, sounds good, but boy, we got to get into sacrifice model real quick. Otherwise, this doesn't feel right. I'm taking care of me and they love that. So if you're taking care, huh?
It's very counterintuitive.
Yeah. If you're taking care of you, what's your ideal leadership body weight? You don't have to say it out loud because you're about 3'9", and so it's like 88 pounds, which will freak people out.
A little bit taller than that. Not much, but a little bit.
So imagine leading at that ideal weight. Imagine leading by being the example of what people wish they had. Isn't that why we follow a lot of people, is because they have what they have something we wish for?
Yes, certainly.
So, you ready for the list? I'm just going to go through it real quick.
Go ahead.
The peace, the relationship, the income. All of this because you decided to take care of you. You now have a large following of people who want what you want, and they want to follow your steps. Would you want people to have followed your steps for the last decade?
No.
Some of them. Some of them have been okay.
Maybe some. Yeah.
Not total disaster. Train wreck here and there. What would happen if from this moment forward, your discipline allowed them to follow in every step? And in every step, they got to turn the music up to the volume they wanted to, not your responsibility. But they could follow, you could feel comfortable. The reason we don't have bigger followings is because we don't feel comfortable with people following us. When you start taking care of you, you start off on your path. You're not doing it to be a leader. You're doing it to say, I've had enough and I'm going to take care of me. Very selfish. And soon as the selfish becomes self-full, you'll turn around and people, what are you doing here? Well, I want what you got.
Mm.
People want your knowledge on food, on how to eat healthy. People want your knowledge on health. They don't want to buy the tools. You got the knowledge. They want that. What's of every one of your tools, what's the epicenter of all of your tools that allow them to experience what? Life. You get them healthy from their lymphatic system. That's great. Let's start talking about life. Because if it's life, then it's lymphatic. If it's life, then it's food. If it's life, then it's nutritional. If it's life, then it's foot bath. If it's life, then it's the cups of energy where you put the negative in and it and turns it into positive. What if part of it was the reason your process works is because you teach discipline? You now know that. Imagine if they could trust, imagine when they leave your home, they leave your space of education. This is for everybody. Imagine when a person leaves your energy field, your direct energy orbit, that your circle of 10 foot of energy. They say, I can trust myself. I now have the skills to trust myself. Wouldn't that be pretty powerful?
Very powerful.
So congratulations. You trusting you allows others to begin their trusting themselves. What'd you learn? What'd you like from all of that?
Oh,
I knew that was coming.
I learned that discipline, you can't operate without it successfully. You can operate without it, but success is going to be out of reach.
Bonuses.
And I like that you can pull this stuff out of me. No, I will say that sitting here, right now, this is the first full tapping session that I've been fully engaged. And I feel a result.
So ask your subconscious, so is this worth doing again?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And so the 4 stages, because here's what I was just tapped on my shoulder. Don't be sad. You know what? I could have been doing this so long ago. Right? Because now the fear of doing it, we just went through the fear. Now the sadness comes in going, oh my gosh, I've just, right? Because you'll wind up wanting to beat yourself up. Go, oh my gosh, I'm glad today was the day. Create the new excitement and then allow that to be the new normal. So there was the fear. You acknowledge that. What's going to happen now is as you go through this and if you listen to the replay, is you're going to start doing oh my gosh, what an idiot. I know this stuff. I know, right? Just say, okay, that was my discipline now says I'm not going to spend one moment in regret. I'm going to spend it in positive action and make this the new normal. Because one tapping session made a world of difference. One focused tapping session changed everything. Imagine what the second one could do.
Oh, yeah.
So fall in love with it. Don't be that typical high energy, high frequency, high engaged. I'm such a goofball. Right? Because it'll come.
Sure.
Right? And we just got to know that it's going to come because the law of polarity says the law of polarity that said if my fingers are 12 inches apart, in the middle is 6 inches, this has to be 6 inches away, and this finger has to be 6 inches away. There's laws. There are laws of the universe. And the law of polarity says, oh my gosh, one session worked. Well, it couldn't really work that well. Because if one session worked, one session doesn't work. And you've been through a lot of sessions that didn't work because you weren't fully engaged. So now the question is can I operate understanding that the law of polarity is going to show up and do its best to convince me to say I'm not that good. You're that good. I'm that good, but you're even better. Right? Comes back to this card.
Yeah.
Right? The potential. We just changed your belief in what tapping does.
Yeah.
You're doing
absolutely.
the actions, you're doing the results, actions, results. You had a level of belief.
Yes.
Now we tapped in same actions, different belief this way. How's this go? Different belief over here, different belief, which changed your results.
Yes.
See, the old beating ourselves up was, yes, there's discipline. I'm going to do the action. Yes, there's potential. I'm going to do the action. I'm going to get results. Well, the results sucked and it really didn't really help our belief.
Right.
Now, because of you are ready, whatever the reason, my tone, my frequency, the fact that we just came at it like a Gatling gun 4 different ways. We changed the identity statement, visual activation, simple, moving quick, going through it. We overwhelmed the negative side, we overwhelmed the doubt, and all of a sudden we chippy away everything not Heather. And the you showed up like, oh my gosh, I feel good. That good was always there. And so now the belief is better. You know what I just heard? Ask her how excited she is about the new potential. Because the next time you do this, there's going to be wildly positive results.
Oh, certainly.
And now
Yes.
bigger belief.
Yes. That
If
is one of those upward spirals right there.
if you go to Heather's house, you're going to walk in tapping. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Great to have you here. Love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Have a lovely, lovely day.
We're still on Lily Watch. I don't know. I hope the babies come out the right spot and not just out like C-sec. I don't know. She is just this little tankety tank. Today's the day. I say today's the day. Gosh, she's such a little. I hope I mean, I don't know how. I hope it's twins because otherwise something ain't fitting out the.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka.
Maybe what does your vet say about this?
We don't have a vet.
Well, maybe have one look at it. I'm thinking she's having twins because she was already huge
Yeah.
weeks ago.
Well, she was that big last year when she had Astrid. So there's like those moms who
But
are
maybe the baby's too big to come out.
there's the concern there is, or I say the concern. So having raised cattle, when we would go Semitol to Angus and we would do artificial insemination, Semitol are a much bigger cattle. The reason that it's rare to have a large lamb because of the breeding stock. I get what you're saying. Yeah, if it's too big, that would be an issue. But
I don't know anything about lambs, as you know. I mean, I know a little bit more now.
Yeah.
How cute
But
they
what
are.
I'm saying is that if you imagine taking a pony and a thoroughbred, the baby's going to be a little bit bigger than the pony, right? So you got to be careful with that. When we would breed Semitol to Angus usually have 50 to 60 pound calves. We were getting 80 to 110 pound calves, which are just a little too big for the birth canal. So I get you. Absolutely.
But
so I have
I mean, you just never know. I mean,
you never know. Listen, last name Murphy.
You've been saying for weeks this sheep is gonna pop now.
I know.
And so then the other one gave birth way before, and she was much thinner.
It just goes to show you that
you can, it's
they want to surprise you.
But you want to make sure, that she's gonna stay healthy and not go over and something happens. So I don't know. If I was you, I probably, if she doesn't do anything today, I would see if there is a vet. But anyway, it's not none of my business. I'm just sharing.
I love it. Thank you.
But that's
Thank you for your concern.
Why I wanted to speak. I just wanted to share that I absolutely love tabbing. I learned it about 1.5 years ago, and I actually in the last month gotten back to tapping every morning. It's on my calendar because I know the impact, I know how powerful it is, and I know that it works. I have experienced it to work on myself. So when you said this morning, in contrast to Heather, when you said me tapping, I just love it. I was just excited about it because you do it a little different than I learned it. And that's fine. I always like to expand. So yeah, I mean, I know it works and I know it shifts things. It hasn't shifted exactly the thing that I most wanted to shift. but I don't know why that is. So I have not figured that out.
So in tapping, what you might want to do is write down is do the statement saying, listen, there's a shift I want in my life. And it starts with the karate chop. There's a shift I want in my life and I need some clarification. You can literally just start your tapping session with that. Who do I
Yeah.
become with this new identity? What do I need to learn? What do I need to pay attention to? And just literally tap yourself into just becoming aware, not for the fix, becoming aware of the lesson, right? Because if the lesson's not learned, it'll be repeated. So
Because
just,
my tapping structure, the way I learned it is much different than yours.
okay. Well, there's,
But
this is
that
the,
doesn't mean that I can expand
sure,
on what I learned.
right. There was the traditional one where you would tap based upon a sequence of eyebrow, collarbone. You would actually move through the meridians in a different way.
See, I
What
don't know.
EFT was created was to make it more simple for the beginner, if you will, to understand how to just move through a frequency, not move through a sequence. Yes, there's the other version where,
But yeah, my version is different than
yep,
that.
sure,
You literally tap where you feeling like the heaviness or the where you're feeling off
okay,
about this particular thing, and then you align over the head after
sure.
you do. So it's different, but
So
I
have you done a session on what you want to come to you?
yes, I do it
Okay,
every day.
okay,
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I mean, it's not okay. I want, so for instance, I want something specific. I want to earn 1,000 and more every day.
okay,
I want consistently 1,000 plus, not just 1,000, because I don't want to. First,
right,
that's what I started out with, and I'm like, no, I'm going to limit myself because I don't want to limit myself.
sure.
Um, so I get that some days, but other days I don't get anything.
So
So it's
keep
not
track of your
consistent.
energy. And what I mean by that, keep track of your energy. When you're done with your tapping on a scale of 1 to 10, what energy level you're at. If you can go back and look at some of the days where you got your 1,000, check your energy level because the frequency of the tapping allowed you to access a 1,000 plus vibration. And other days, our energies are so strong. You have a placebo and you also have a nocebo. The tapping is a tool that will get you there. But even if we don't want it, we could do all the tapping we want and it won't work. So just check your energies. When you're done tapping on a scale of 1 to 10 for you, are you closer or farther away from that feeling of the gratitude of receiving it already? Because I bet you'll find that there's a huge connection between as you wrap up your tapping, you wrap up your start of your morning ritual for your start of the day. There's a tendency to what vibration we're in. Just look at that. That's something you might track.
I have never looked at that, but that's very interesting.
Because I can tell some days that you send me some morning messages, you're like on you're La Señora de Fuego, right? You are on fire. You are ready to go. You are excited. I can just read, your letters, each letter is smiling. And then there's other days where the letters are just there. It was information. It wasn't a joyous message.
That's interesting.
Just be aware.
When you receive a message from me, what is your expectation before you read it? Is your expectation for it to be joyous or not? But perhaps maybe it's your expectation.
No, I show up because I've done this for long enough. My goal is anytime because I don't normally carry my phone. It sits in the side by side or someplace. So when I look at it, I don't look at it and go, ugh, that's another message. I go, okay, I'm interested. I'm just reading this one now. And there's a text that goes with it. So I'm not concerned. There's a interest in the conversation. So I look at the energy of the message before I read it. Because who you are speaks so loud. I don't need to hear the words. This is for everybody. Who you are. Yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah.
to me is always important what the person is saying, so I can properly understand and respond.
But
And
you
so
know as well
I,
as I do.
I do carry my phone most of the time because I don't want to miss anything. Doesn't mean I respond immediately. I respond immediately if it's something profit producing. Somebody wanting to purchase something or looking at something. So I prioritize, especially when I'm driving. It's very difficult for me to respond. But that's interesting how so you looking at the messages differently depending on whom they come from?
No, I look at it and I say, what are they wanting to transmit? We only have, you're wanting to bring me in. Here's my perception. So whether it's a message from you or Scott Schilling or Amber or Heather or Diane, my question is what is the 3-dimensional world they want me to be a part of? This is only a 2-dimensional screen. That 2-dimensional screen is supposed to bring a reaction to me in my 3-dimensional world. What's the world they need me to be in with them? I was in my own world. I wasn't calling you into my world. If I get a message from you, you ask me to join you in your world.
Yes.
How do I need to show up in your world?
Sometimes you don't show up because you don't.
Well,
I can see because you are one of the very few people that actually have their read on. So you can see whenever you read the message. So I know that you read the message, but no response comes. Most people like me don't have their read on because I don't want other people to see that when I read it, because then they expect a message from me immediately. So when I see a read on and people don't respond to me, I always am, well, they read it, but they didn't respond. And it annoys me. But I'm just being honest.
I get it. So maybe because the response needs more information on my side, meaning I need to have a better understanding of the request before I respond, right?
Well,
Seek
then you
first
would
to
say,
understand.
what do you mean by that? Or I don't understand that, or I'm really busy right now, I will respond later. If you need to have to read the read announcement on, because yeah, to me, when somebody has the read announcement, and sometimes people don't know they have it on, I tell them, I know you read it, and they go, no, I haven't. And I go, well, you read, it says exactly when you read it. And they go, oh, I didn't know I had that on. How do I turn that off? So sometimes it's just so I don't know if you knew that you had it on, if you had it on purposely, but if you
Well, yeah, it's on there because it's if I'm reading it, then yeah, it's just about being transparent.
okay. So, but many people are not as transparent. And and some don't know that it's on, and sometimes
Right.
it's only on with some people, because I always turn mine off. And one time my daughter said, your read is on, and I said, hell, I didn't turn it on. But then I sent my friend a message and asked her, and she said it didn't show up for her. So it can be bizarre, but iPhone sometimes takes over when it does updates, and
Right.
it screws you in some way or another. So yes, I mean, there's many things we look at and what we expect. The same thing.
That's the thing that hurts us most is we have an expectation.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when we see somebody read something, we expect a reply. Like when you send somebody a message in Messenger, there also you can see if the person opened it or not. And sometimes people don't respond, or they claim they haven't seen it.
So maybe this is one of those experiences where we've seen somebody that said, I asked God for patience. Did he give me patience, or did he give me moments to be patient? maybe this is God's giving you, well, I asked to lower my expectation, and he's giving you places to look at your expectation. They read it. Okay, great. They'll get back to me when they can and go on about your day. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there
Yeah,
as a
no,
possibility.
well, it depends if I need a response or not.
Right.
I mean, if I don't need a response or I don't need a quick response, it doesn't matter. But if it's business, I mean, if I just send you a message, hey, just want to tell you I love you. Okay, you're not giving me a response, that's fine, because I wasn't expecting one. But when I expect one, and especially if it's business related, I expect a response, a timely response from anybody that does business with me. Because if it's urgent, it needs to be taken care of, not ignored.
Right.
So that's how I feel, because if some is business that needs to be taken care of, I respond immediately. Otherwise, I leave it, but I try not to read it so people don't expect a response from me. They just simply think, okay, they simply may think she's busy, she hasn't read it, she hasn't seen it. But that's what I think. But maybe people don't think that. People say, why are you not reading my thing? I don't know. I don't know. I've never really had this conversation till just now. And it's interesting. And I don't know how other people feel besides Alex. Alex says, I hate when people have their read off. So we all different.
Different strokes for different folks.
But
I love
I'm
it.
curious if he likes that for people to have their read on, does he expect an immediate response once they read it? That
No, I
would
don't. What are you
no,
doing?
you don't. Okay.
What are you doing? Like, what's going on? I mean, if you have your read off, I know that you have it off because you don't care about when you're gonna see it versus when you're gonna respond. If you see my message and you see it, you can respond when you can, and whether that could be right now or not, that's up to you. But if you have it off, I know that you have it off simply because you don't want me to know if you're busy or not.
Yeah.
So F people
Does
who
that
have
bother you? Does does
that
that
bothers me a
bother
lot.
you?
That bothers me a lot. I
Really?
hate when people, yeah, I have the,
Yeah,
I hate,
you wrote that. I hate when people have it off. That's
yeah, I
interesting.
do. I
Is
hate
yours
that.
on?
Of course it's on.
Well, I don't know. I have to look at that actually.
Well, when your read is off, you can see when other people see your messages as well. So
No,
because
no.
mine,
I see Sean's read all the time, and my read is off. So I see when he reads it. It's with
well,
you can only I think you can only have a read with iPhone. Can you have a read with Android too? I don't know that.
I don't know since I have an iPhone as well. But once again, going back to the point, I hate HATE when people have their read off because you're
So
not a
these are
president.
lessons. These are lessons, right? Just to
Yeah.
go through expectation. I'm just saying it's not going to stop your business whether they respond to you or not, right? If you need them, you'll ask them again, you'll pick up the phone and call them, you'll do whatever.
Yes.
But we are letting it, listen, look at how this distraction from discipline took us on to a conversation of whether somebody has a read on or read off. Important topic. But it might be looking for a way for us to mask our looking into our discipline. Just our discipline is, I got to take care of me. I got to do my business based on me. Just a thought. Love
Can
it.
you
Love it, love it.
elaborate on that, Sean, please? What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Well, so
let Rob
in
speak.
network marketing, we talk about, some people talk about, well, my upline never put anybody in my business, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Our business starts from us down, right? I built multinational, multi-million-dollar organizations. The reason that I didn't have 75 people frontline, I am not a good recruiter. I am a good retainer. I'm not a good recruiter. I can get people in, but I really, after my first year of network marketing, I really didn't want anybody to be frontline to me. I didn't want to have to work that hard. So I really put you through the screws to get my attention, to be frontline to me. So what I
Or-
mean by that is I got to take care of me. No, none of you guys came to the ranch. Some of you will still come to the ranch. Some of you have been to the ranch. Nobody's showing up here to cut the grass tomorrow. I got to take care of the ranch on my own. As much as I want everybody here and as much as I want stuff, as much as hey, listen, you want, yeah, I'll be by one day to cut the grass. I ain't waiting on you to cut my grass. I ain't waiting on you to feed the sheep. I ain't waiting on you. I'm not waiting on you. So if you didn't read a text or read a text, I'm okay. If I'm counting on you, I will then start to stir the fire a little more. If I really need, I'll set hey, listen, could you do me a favor and respond quickly to this message if it fits your schedule? I will put that criteria in. But if you're sitting there getting pissed off, if I'm sitting there getting pissed off because you don't respond to me, that's my problem. That's my responsibility. That's me responding to you not responding. How much control should I give to you by not responding to your text? So we just lose it. We wind up, we use that as a reason to not have our success, because it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. I send these messages out and nobody listen. When I'm having my low energy day and I send out 50, 100 texts, none of it is anticipating a response. I send them out so that I can be in giving, so I can be in sharing. Now,
but
what
I think that's
happens is,
different than if you are sending out a message and you need, I mean, the ranch is all on you. You don't have a team. If you had a team, say you had some ranch hands, you would expect them to respond to you, to cut your grass when you want it cut, you feed the sheep when you need to.
but I don't need them to respond because the order is already in place.
Yeah, but sometimes they don't show up because, I mean, we have ranch hands out in the stables. They take care of these things. So we expect them to take care of the thing.
Right.
So I think it's different if you work in a team or if you have employees. I mean, with us, yes, they're all a volunteer army, as I've heard it many times called that now in the last few days, especially. But still, if you have an upline that you need something from and doesn't respond,
So they get one chance.
they get one chance.
Yeah.
And then what do?
I go around them, over them, under them, right?
Yeah, but with network marketing,
No, listen, I've been doing it for 23
I know,
years.
but what are you always told? If you go up above them, it's always
that's what you're told because because they fear their identity.
no,
No, hang on. I'm going to tell you how it works. They tell you that because they want to maintain control.
No. They don't tell me that. If I always go to the top people or the owners or whatever.
Right.
This is not about by design. But the people come back, like the executive team, for instance, and say, why is it you not getting this information or this assistant from your sponsor?
Right.
That's always set. And you go back because he's supposed to have built a group and he's supposed to help you because he sponsored you. So that's with network marketing. So if that person doesn't respond, you get that feedback because people expect that your upline, because they are benefiting from whatever it is you're needing eventually, should be helping you. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but sometimes an upline gets lucky and finds an acorn and they find somebody who's successful. Most of my sponsors, love them to death, the most amazing people, I would do anything for them. They knew very little about business. They knew very little about marketing. I couldn't go to them to ask them questions. They never expanded internationally. Most of my sponsors never had an international business. So I couldn't go to them about international. So I did it all. I didn't even go to the company. I learned it on my own because I wanted to be able to have the information for me. I didn't want to be beholden to somebody else in the golden handcuffs, right? And so that's just me. That's how I operate. So yeah, my upline, I never I love my upline, would always compliment them, speak highly of them from stage, had great relationships with them, and just they realized they couldn't really help me in my business. They could do some three ways, they could do some things, but they didn't understand international business. They didn't treat this as a business. I treat this as one of the greatest sayings I ever came up with is, have you been exposed to the professional side of this business? That was the discipline I used to keep this after my first year. My first year was a disaster.
Yes,
Wild disaster. I mean, great experience. I wouldn't recommend it on my worst enemy. But I wound up saying, okay, my business starts with me. Nobody is responsible for my business except me. No matter how big a team I build, I've got to figure out the system. I got to figure out what works, what doesn't work. And that's how I moved through, and that's how I was able to build large global organizations. Because I put the onus, and that's where I came up with the 21 reasons in 5 minutes and all of these different things, is so that you take on the responsibility, your responsibility for your business. I'm not responsible for your business. But because in the beginning, my first year, boy, I was responsible for everybody's business, and that doesn't work so well.
Right. No, you're not
Right.
responsible for someone's business, but you're still, I mean, it's a team. It's a team, a relationship, a team effort. You don't make any money if your team doesn't do anything.
Right. But
This
my
type of
team doesn't do
business,
anything if they
unless
think
you're selling and you never make the kind
I
of
never did any retail.
the leveraged income
I
if
didn't do
you're just
retail.
selling stuff. So that I mean, so yes, it's different. You're not responsible for their success, but you should help them as much as you can if they ask.
Well, I do. And so every day they would call me and I say, tell me your goals for number 6. Cause I knew the thing that I knew the one thing. I only found one thing that they needed to stay motivated on. Tell me your goals for number 6 today. That's it. Send me 3 things you're going to do to get closer to 6 or closer to 7 or closer to 12. Yeah, I didn't need to help them. When they try the 2 things and both of them failed, I say, so what are the next 2 things we're going to do? I caused the reason that a lot of people don't like the way I motivate and teach is because I force you to think. And once I get you to think, you can go use thinking any place. Any place. It's why the people that I sponsored 6 years ago in Latin America all are wildly successful individuals outside the company that decided to not keep their word to them. They all one started his own company and has got a major company in Forex going. But that's because I taught him how to think.
Right, and you should teach them to be a leader, not a follower. I totally agree.
Right.
With you.
The challenge is that when they lead and they go off and they lead and take care of their families in a better way, people uplines go, wow, that's ridiculous. I don't know why we should sue them. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So
I totally agree.
it's just the discipline of making sure we teach what we need to allow people to have access to. They need to have access to their best and highest version of themselves.
Yes, I agree. I like the way you teach, actually. That's why I'm here. Otherwise,
I know. I love it, love it, love
Thank
it.
you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I love you, and
Love you too.
please let Raj speak. He's been so very
Yes.
patient.
Hey, Raj.
Great day, Sean. She actually answered my question about the tapping. I was gonna ask, why does the tapping feel different when we do it with a group as if with by ourselves?
Well, by ourselves, it's you've already started the by yourself, right? That doesn't work for me. I need other people for it to work. I need recognition. I need accountability. And if the group is doing it's called herd mentality. Nothing wrong with that. It's herd mentality. Well, if they're doing it, I'll do it. They actually, in PSYOPs, right? Psychological operations, they do a study. Did a study. This is 1962. I think it was Stanford. The professor brought in people, and literally this was the test. So they said, hold on, I'll show it to you. A, B, C. So A, B, C. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, which line's the longest?
B.
Okay. Imagine going into a room of 9 people
Okay.
and you're the only person that is the test subject. Everybody else is in on it, but you do not know that. And everybody says A is the longest. And it is set up so that you're probably the 5th or the 6th one out of the 9. And the first one says, A. And everybody, second one goes A. Third one goes A. Fourth one goes A. Fifth one goes A. It's up to you. You're like, A? 92% of the people picked A. You knew B was the longer one. So the reason the tapping works is because you don't know if ever anybody else is doing. You didn't know Heather went tapping. You just figured everybody else is doing it. I'll do it. So you get talked into A pretty quick.
Hmm.
This is a
Interesting.
This is a psyops. This is a psychological. This is a test. And say, well, we're going to get people who are smarter. We're going to get people who aren't showing up just for. It didn't matter. It went from 92 to 90%. We don't want to stand out.
Is that a survival thing?
Yeah. The brain looks for 2 things. Will it kill me, or how fast can I recognize a pattern? Well, if everybody else is saying it, I don't know. I must be missing something. A must be the answer. Go look at it. The line test. You can Google it. 1960, 1962. Maybe it was Stanford. I think it was Stanford.
Powerful stuff.
Now, we throw in there a couple of things. I don't know if you've ever felt uncomfortable or people have made you feel uncomfortable because of the color of your skin. Once or twice in your life. That ever happen?
Not really, no.
You sure?
People can't make me feel uncomfortable.
Well, okay. I'm just saying, but you never felt, have you ever looked at a story and because somebody was dark skinned and they were racially
yeah.
profiled?
Yeah, I can agree with that.
See, that's my point, is that I can't experience that. I comprehend it, but for me to say, no, I feel for you. I can't even begin to feel for you. That would be such a bold-faced lie for me to say, you know what? I feel you. Bullshit, Taki, you feel me. There's no way. Just by seeing what happens and just from news. So all of a sudden, if we don't want to stand out, we'll go, A, listen, I'm not going to stand up for myself. So that's how that happens. So the reason that we need community is because what happens if Rudge takes this on and all of a sudden excels by himself? What's everybody gonna say about him? It's literally at that subconscious level.
I believe you, son. I believe you.
I know, and it's like, oh, friggity. So then the question, just like I walked Heather through, who's the one saying I need community? Who's the one that told you? Because not everybody else said, well, why is it so much easier when we do it together? Who said that? Rudge didn't say. The one who questioned didn't ask the question. Because the one who asked the question, the one who knows the answer was the one that spoke the question, not the one who asked the question. Do you have cousins?
Yes.
Do you ever stay over at their house?
No.
When you were little?
Yes.
Yes. And do you ever say, well, come with me. We'll ask your mom and then we'll go ask my mom. We'll go do it together. There's strength and power.
Yes.
So the one who asked wasn't the one asking. You did it to put your mom, you used a psyop. It was a psyop. You used your cousin to go ask your mom so she didn't have to say no in front of you, so she'd look like a witch on a stick. You know how it works. You know how to manipulate. You learned it from childhood. So now we begin to manipulate ourselves. And we manipulate ourselves to have less, not more.
That makes sense.
You're a smart cookie, Rudge. You could go listen to that recording on YouTube and do it all by yourself and have an amazing experience. You're capable of that. You don't need us there holding your hand. You just use that as a reason so that it's okay for you to accelerate. You're better than us. You're better than the one who asked the question. You are. You're better at you. That's why you're better than us, because you're better at you. I'm not better than you. I'm better at me than you, but I'm not better than you. You're the best you can be. And when we get together, 1 + 1 = 11, right? But you're not better than me because you can't be me, and I'm not better than you because I can't be you, but I'm better at me than me, and I should be better at me than me.
Jeez.
So, as in the words of Jim Rohn, you take care of you for me, and I'll take care of me for you.
Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome, brother.
I'm speechless.
Hey, doesn't it feel good?
It feels amazing.
Yeah, and this is the part of you that asks the question. This is the one who asked the question, asking for an answer that wasn't one of limitation. Why? Well, you need the group. You need us as a community. No, not really. I mean, it's nice.
It is.
But boy, you were still the one doing it. So that was a story you told yourself because nobody else was talking. It was you and me talking. And the reason I don't put myself on camera when we do this is so that when you go listen to the audio, you have the same programming in mind going, I can close my eyes. I don't need to see him out of respect, out of honor, out of what is he doing? Is he picking his note? What's he, you're not paying attention to anything that I'm doing. You get to focus on you. That's why I don't have my camera on when we do these most of the time.
Powerful. Oof.
There's a lot to it, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Right. And so it's all designed to subconsciously. This is why we have to be careful with who we follow. What is the message behind the message, and what is the motive behind the message, and what is the motive of motive? Mine is for you to be able to stand tall, stand proud, and be on your own. I love that we're together. If I really needed you to be a groupie, I wouldn't put these on YouTube. I'd make sure that you have to come here and that you got to log in and that you got to jump through 72 hoops. That's a cult. This is just a culture. Go have some fun today. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
What did I learn? What did I like? I learned that I'm still holding back. I'm still holding myself back.
Oh my gosh. You got to be the only person out of the 7 billion people on the planet. You are the only, you got to feel so isolated.
More than I knew. I'm holding myself back.
There you go. There you
More
go.
than I knew.
Awareness. Awareness is cool. So that's what you learn. What'd you like?
I like how you reminded me that I've always been manipulating since childhood. That was a powerful awareness. I like how you brought that to my awareness, because now I can go deeper into that.
And it's hard when we hear the manipulation, but weren't we just wanting to get what we wanted?
Yeah, it's not. It's all about intention, too, as well.
So now, imagine if you got to speak to Mother Universe and Father Universe and ask them, say, hey, listen, I really need your help, right? Access the subconscious, access the energy that's bigger and more than me, more than any of this community. Allow the mastermind of the community to allow you to upgrade and tweak the frequency, but go ask your questions so that when you show up in the mastermind, it can download more, because we're all for you. You're like, we're all for Silka, we're all for Jane, we're all for everybody that's here, we're all for the people that have ever been through here. The mastermind allows you to create that third mind in your own head, but it allows us to be for you in your energy and sending good thoughts your way. When Heather was having her conversation today, you were getting good thoughts. You were getting awarenesses. It probably wasn't on her criteria, her intention. I want to help Rudge today. But what was on her intentions is I want to be more for people around me. So when you show up here, the community brings you more energetic awareness only because you've turned on the switch that says, I'm going to allow energetic awareness to happen. Know that you can take that awareness with you. Soon as this call ends, you don't have to turn off my community awareness. Allow the universe, allow our stories, allow your positive energies, allow the next bird you hear sing, the next sun ray that gets in your eye, allow it to be in a little trigger for awakening. Change the way we look at things so the things we look at change.
Oh, it is. Yes. Son, you're so deep compared to where I am. You're
Well,
just so
no.
deep.
Hey, hang on. How is that possible?
What do you
Because
mean?
if you understood it, aren't you that deep? You just come down here every now and then when I have a conversation, but you're brilliant enough to stay here. You can't understand deep without being deep. See how your old story goes? Yeah, but you're deep, I'm not. The hell you're not. You couldn't understand it if you weren't. Now, there's layers to it. It comes effortlessly to me, but it comes effortlessly to me because I'm talking to you. You're the catalyst for it. You got to understand that. Hear that. I'm not, no guru is deep talking to himself. That's called a lonely person in a cave. A guru can only be deep based upon the depth of the question. So congratulations, you were deep before you knew it.
Thank you.
And then our subconscious goes, wait a minute, no, I'm not that good. The hell you ain't. You asked the question. And I'll only go as deep as you can survive. Because my answer to everybody would be love. That's deep. Well, what do I do about love? The hell, I need strategy. Love. This is ridiculous. Love. That just pisses everybody off. So we have a dialogue. Are there some trees around you?
Yes.
Tell me which one's in hate.
No, none of them.
So why not just pay attention to the obvious?
Oh, that made a lot of sense.
Right? The grass. What grass is complaining? Can you listen to the grass? Is one blade complaining to the other going, why the hell are you here?
No.
No. Aren't they all in love?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, seriously, this isn't rocket science.
Okay.
Change the way we look at things.
And the way look things change.
And it's not about doing certain things, about doing them in a certain way. Now, if there's a tree out there that's dying, somebody might have put some mojo on it. But for the most part, right, every leaf that's blooming out has got space for the other one. One leaf blooms here, another one blooms here. There's an old Indian, I think it was Cherokee proverb that says, no two branches are foolish enough to fight amongst themselves for the sunlight.
Oh, that's a powerful proverb, Sean. I love that one.
So why would we ever fight amongst ourselves for the sunlight? There's plenty of sunlight. It's not like this ray is better than that ray. The sun, God created the sun and said, all will be equal. Just put yourself in the ray of the sun. And then the reason we love the leaves that are getting the sun is so we can sit in the shade. What? Because they love the sun, we get to sit in the shade. Tell me that's not symbiotic. And do you think the tree is going, hey, listen, you're taking up my shade? He doesn't even know it's giving shade. Tree knows it's standing in the sun.
Yep.
When we stand under it, it says, well, I'm glad you came. I'm not sure why you're here. Oh, well, I love the shade. Oh, we'll take all I have. Because the tree's not any less because you stand in its shade.
Unbothered. Just unbothered, still doing this thing.
Yep. In love. That's pure love.
Yes. Wow.
Who'd have thunk it, right? Who'd have thunk it?
What a okay. Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome, brother.
Love this.
All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We're your shade gathering, sun supplying, chlorophyll filled misfits. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
Next event.
Next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
We love you, Mark, and some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us. And the queen of helping you find your sunlight, Jessie Lee War.
Boss
Boss
Lee.
Boss Lee. Little white fluffy.
Gurgly,
Gurgly. All right, everybody, go have some fun. We will see you tonight, 8 p.m. Little mastermind combo. Talk to you then. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sean.
Peace, family. Love
Love
you
you all.
guys.
Have a good day.